what would be the point in speaking of things way beyond your present Earth cycle in terms of the theosophical view of creation? That in any one stage there are a vast variety of people. Some exactly, perhaps the majority exactly as is appropriate to that stage, but some lagging behind, and some streaks ahead. So those who have ears to hear, let them hear. And in the case of the more sort of Eastern view, we can work on any stage of our development, on any aura, if you like, or shell of being. I can work at the physical level. I can work at the nirvanic level. I can work at the intuition level and be devoted to God. I can occupy myself there, regardless of, well, almost regardless. I wouldn't want to if the others weren't in some sort of semblance of order. I can sit certain of Him. And if that's felt to be appropriate for you, well, that's just wonderful. Because God can do all things. He has done all things. No thing is done except that He has done it. And by His allowance and authority and His provision. The best economic shortcut is unquestionably in God. You look to Him in trust and faith. Hence the Jesus revelation of what was told us in a sense from the beginning. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind and strength. This is the way, walk ye in it. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. And obviously when this revelation was given in, if you like, the historistic notion of Hebrew times, it didn't have ears to hear. They were chosen people, not born again at all, not ready to be born again. And according to the story, but for Moses pleading on their behalf, God would have wiped them out. And the book is persuasive because in the book He's done it before. He wiped them all out but 8 people in a flood. I'm not keen on the literature, quite honestly. It's an horrendously primitive view of God. A thundering war god that commits genocide and judgment and sacrifices His Son. Not a good heritage, you would think. So why did God abide it for so long? Because His ways are higher than our ways. We can't see it. But perhaps again it's something to do with contrasting good and evil. And you know in your heart what you take to be the good and what you're going to avoid like the plague. And this is your salvation. It is the way. Walk ye in it. Bless you. And you are blessed. Thank you, Dad. So I've said absurdly more than enough. Depending on what you are ready to hear. But for those who have ears to hear, I choose to continue. And it's my joy anyway. For he does a greater thing in us and through us. You could say I'm egocentric driven. Or you could say I'm extending my ego to embrace all life. I almost said even, but I should have said, especially God, our Heavenly Dad. Thank you, Dad.